The Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I always start by apologizing for the late start. And tonight is not just any other night, like a usual night. We have a powerful team. The Commander-in-Chief, Professor Huntington, actually has fished a lot of new faces that we'll be seeing here on the Rapid Africa Plan. And the Commander-in-Chief is here personally to present the summit, what I actually call the summit. Imagine we're going to be hosting 12 to 15 guest speakers, exclusive guest speakers. And guess what? So today is not just any kind of day. And so to put out the whole thing, people are joining the summit from South Africa, others are joining from Europe, others are joining all around the globe. So it takes time for everyone to travel safely, go through the COVID pass check, land at the airport, pick them, get them back, all here sitting in studio. What team? Rapid Africa Plan is taking over Africa in just no time, ladies and gentlemen. If you're joining the Pan-African Daily TV to hold on this conversation on the urgent need for an African People's Alliance, that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what the Rapid Africa Plan has put all the summit and guest speakers today to share their new action plan. I mean, we all have been talking about Africans come here and just talk and go. But ever since this Commander-in-Chief, Professor Huntington, launched the Riot Act and put it into a handbook, right, as roadmap on which we have to define the economic development, the socio-cultural politics, history, everything, and then uniting the young people and the voices all around the world. It must be massive. And I can guarantee you this whole initiative is not been even up to a year. It's just a young baby that we thought, would take time even to crawl, even to produce some teeth, and then begin to talk. But now we're seeing the baby is just so grown up and it's going so fast. Exactly. That is the speed that Africa is going now and is untouchable. So if every other person was still thinking that we'll be needing this 2063 agenda, yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying, and when I feel the Rapid Africa Plan, I think we're going to get there in no time. So if you're joining the Pan-African Daily TV, because I have some very good news for you today, particularly the agent of change is here. You know what that is? I mean, I begin to learn a lot of narratives from the Rapid Africa Plan. This is so amazing. You want to make sure that you click like and subscribe, right? So you keep updated on all the information, on all the programs, and all the super rapid Africa Plan and the team. I mean, the team is comprised of, like I said, we have old faces that we used to know, but we have many more new faces. And what I just heard and what I was just listening to right now is they even have something that I can call an anthem, a Rapid Africa anthem. And you know why? Because this whole team, this agenda, Rapid Africa Plan, is comprised of people of all walks of lives. So we have musicians, right, artists that are advocates, that are freedom fighters, that are leaders, and then though young, and particularly women, that's what I love about Rapid Africa Plan. The mixture, there's nothing about complaining, it's too much of men coming to tell us what we haven't heard before. And the women will be like, no, we need the empowerment plan. The men are taking over and doing nothing. No, the Rapid Africa Plan is different. They said the difference, the melange, what we call the mixture. So Professor Huntington Mobile, the Commander-in-Chief of this agenda, the Riot Act, is doing something extraordinary. Now we all know this is one of the greatest and the biggest voice in Africa's development plan. So I hope all of you are seated because we have a lot to talk about. I just want to keep my introduction so short because I'll cross my hands, and I enjoy when I have a summit like this because I don't need to do all the talking because the young people have to do the talking, and the professors and the scholars and the experts, all that are surrounding from the Ghana, from Zambia, from Zimbabwe, from the Cameroons, all of us are here now. Now, make sure we're going to be opening up calls to take a question and answer. So you'll be aware of the fact that we have our chat there. If you cannot reach us when the lines are open, drop your questions in the chat. It should not be at the end, even while they are talking. If you have a question, please make sure you put it in the commentary and we will bring it up. But otherwise, you know how we do it on the Pan-African Daily TV. So all you need to do, like we do in Africa in the village, just holla. And you know how it goes. Call our WhatsApp number +49 1578 211 2379. I personally will pick your calls. You all know that. So we'll be having kind of normal family conversation, but this time in a serious way. If you're ready, I am ready to go. But before we bring out, we unveil, I just want to share this anthem of the Rapid Africa Plan. I've been dancing to it the whole day. I'm still trying to search where is it, for God's sake. I've been dancing to it the whole day, so it means everything is getting serious. Now we're not going to be dancing to all that crap music that we didn't even know what it was all about. We have to start dancing to the music of the new Africa. So we're not producing only a plan. We're even producing even the melody, defining the cultural lifestyle, and even the attires that would follow the Rapid Africa Plan. And that is the new Africa, the Africa that we want. So let's listen.
Rapid Africa. See ya. All day. No, we don't carry us no more. And never take action. If you believe that you wrong, flexing your move, that show. Let them understand who we are. It's bigger than the world. Yeah. For so many years and so many ways to try to pull us down. By the time it's down, we're turning things around. So we move to never gonna stop, no, cause we are one nation, one people, one people. They're sure that, sure. The motherland is calling, Africa. And if you hear me loud and clear, you should be reporting. We got all the golden diamonds, they see Africa. Join your baby dance, cause we got the foot jumping abundance. Africa. Afro, let me say it one more time. We are kings and queens, blueprint of the human race. We were born this way, see that's our name. We are here to stay.
Wow. I mean, I cannot even finish it because it's like we're already just giving out something and people would have to go to the rapidafricaplan.org. Yeah, you just better start locking it down because very soon this song is coming out. You can download it on iTunes, on iPlay, or whatever platforms Africans are putting out there. It's going to be the heat of the new Africa. I already just had just some voice and we are the kings and the queens. That makes me already know that I'm in. Good. As you can already see, this powerful gentlemen and men and women sitting right here, ready to hold this conversation with us. Let us just welcome Professor Huntington, the Commander-in-Chief, the one and only, that is going to tell us what is it that we will be listening today. What is it that, this whole summit will be talking about today. Good evening, Prof.
Good evening, Dr. Tata, as usual. I'm so excited to see you. I get very energized when I see you talk about Africa. And when you invite us to this platform, you make me very excited because, talking 20 years ago, walking down this steep hill road called College Avenue, and I'm saying, if nobody has found a way to drive Africa by 2012, I'm going to go and study full time and find out what it takes to transform a nation, And then I started with a thesis that's called "What is Wrong with Africa and What Can Be Done to Fix It?" And to think that idea, that thought, now we are talking here, it's overwhelming for me. I still haven't grasped it yet. And now, as you said, we have a great team here. Only about 8 months ago, in July, we started with a visionary team of youths, which were basically a committee that we came onto this platform with. And then now I went to Africa for, in fact, with the vice president, we went to Africa for 4 months to launch this plan, and we connected, we came back, and we realized that it's important for us to have both a board and a corporate team. So our corporate team is doubling both as a board and the corporate team, that the people that are actually running the plan on the ground. It's happening, and it's happening very, very fast. We have a team. I have the team of the best of the best, and I say, if you can beat them, you can come, we'll replace them. That's how much confidence I have that with this team, Africa is done. It's just a question of a few things that we're going to talk about today. And I'm so excited with what's happening on the Pan-African TV show today. As Dr. Susan just said, the key thing is saying, we're here to say, Africans, shut that what's up about history, about what they did to us. They enslaved us, they're taking our minerals, China is coming. Shut up. And let's come and talk action. Let's come and do something. The Chinese are doing something every day. Hardly 3 weeks after President Magufuli was killed, I think, my own opinion, the Chinese are there already. Before we even mourned, before we're in mourning time, what we're mourning is there. But when are we going to do something? What does it take for us to do something? That's what we brought here. We're bringing a unique approach to the transformation of Africa, to the rapid transformation of Africa. We're saying it's time for us to occupy our industrial place. But we have the roadmap, we have the master plan, and we have the architect. He's right here, still alive. Nothing is going to happen to me. I'm going to be there until this thing is done. Nothing is here to stay. Yeah, let's just to just give you confidence. And so we have the roadmap. If you have the roadmap and you have the destination, the next thing is to walk the journey, right? But we need the power to place this roadmap on the continent. And the only way we can do it if we are one voice, one people, one voice, one plan. That's what it takes. It doesn't take 2 plans, doesn't take 3 plans. It takes 1 plan. Now, if it's not this plan, then which? If not us, then who? Don't we look African to you guys? Don't we look African enough?
No. Like how you look Chinese.
Yeah, maybe. But you see, the key thing about this, before I even talk about everything, I want the African people, I want you to wake up for a minute and listen to this. This is serious stuff. Because I spent 8 years. You see, my grandkids, they don't know me. My family, they don't know me. My children, they don't know me. Because I have spent so much time getting this. Oh, there's somebody shouting over there. So I want to speak a little bit lower. So, I spent so much time working on this thing. And so I'm not gonna let this thing go. I'm not gonna waste all this time, right? Now, the key thing is this that I want you to see. The reason why the Rapid Africa plan is the number one plan, right, is because it's got everything. It's gonna align everything. It's gonna align Pan-African TV and all the media. It's gonna align ADDI. It's gonna align PLO. It's gonna align the private sector. It's gonna align AFCTA. It's the key thing to put industries to work with the common market. You see, so we can do it rapidly and beat the Europeans and the Chinese. They have a head start on us, on our own land. When are we going to change this? My job is to convince you that you don't have to look no further. You don't have to wait until tomorrow. Today, go to the Rapid Africa Plan, Facebook, YouTube, or the social media, and rapidafricaplan.org, and join, because we need 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. And if I have those followers, I can put the industrial place for you on the platter very, very shortly. That's what I'm talking about. The Rapid Africa Plan has got 2 manuals. I've got the one for the scholars and the leaders, which is the Riot Act, and I've narrowed it down to a 200-page for the lazy ones. 200-page Rapid Africa Plan is coming out next week. So we have that package there, right? We have the architect, and now we have the team. We are going to align everybody that you know that has been talking about Africa, right? But talk is cheap. Let's get together. That's why we want to. So how are we going to do it? We need to unite. We need to get together. And the way to get together is we are putting together this All Africa People's Alliance so that we can all work together, so that we can get this done. Now, I want to introduce to you the team that we have today, and I want to show you that our youth, this is now in the hands of our youth. My solo journey ended on the 14th of April 2021. And so we have handed it over to the youth. We have a CEO, Dr. Kisembo, who is a youth himself, is early 40s. So it's no longer in my hands. He's got 2 PhDs in planning, economic finance. And we also have our mission director, Dr. Adebayo. He's got a PhD in economics. And we have our communications director has got a education PhD in technology. So, and then we have all our people are qualified. And we have a very powerful youth that is now driving this. So we're putting this into your hands, and we're putting this into the hands. We've put this into the hands of this youth. So they are here to show you their confidence in the plan so that we can move forward, so that we can get things done. And what I'm saying to you is that we are ready. I'm there full time. I've been there for 8 years. What kind of dedication do you want? What other person are you looking for? And we've got the manual on the table. If people with PhDs in economics, right, and finance are saying, we are following, this thing works, what is stopping you? Last two things, Dr. Susan.
Go ahead.
I want to teach you something very quickly, and I'm done. And then I'm going to leave it to, it's not my thing, I'm going to leave it to them, and I'm going to walk away. Now. Yeah,
but we'll have to have you again, because there are a lot of questions and answers that probably you can just be in the lobby and I'll call you back. Is that okay?
Yes, I will be. I just want to say two more things, two final things.
Yes.
First of all, it takes a science, and we're following the science. If you follow the science, everything works. But there's only 2 things that are stopping Africa to get what they want. It's not the Chinese, it's not the neo-colonialism, it's not anything else. There's only 2 things. There are 2 words in the African languages. One is called Mbimbi. It comes from Shona. Can you say Mbimbi, Dr. Susan? Mbimbi. Right? It comes from a word called Mbimbi Ndoga. Right? It means what you call a lone ranger. It means lone ranger. Mbimbi Ndoga.
Ndoga.
Mbimbi, it means ranger, right? Yeah. Ndoga means lone, so lone ranger. Mbimbi Ndoga. That is the devil, that is the evil that is killing Africans. Each person thinks, it's mine, I'm smart, I have this idea, I have this idea, I have this idea. But is your idea going to make it by yourself? All these are people here in America and overseas. No Africans get together to build a house and increase. I've been here for 20 years, I tried it. We can't do that. You see, it's not the intelligence. This is where they killed us. They got us to understand that intelligence, what matters, right? Education, what matters. What you are doing now, we're talking about Africa. It's not about, you don't have to have a PhD in physics or robotics. It's about seeing. It's about the gift of seeing. So now you can either be Mbimbi. I see many big guys on the platform, here in Africa, who are doing something, but they won't sit down. If we say let's sit down, they don't want to do that. So what are you going to do? Do you have a plan? Do you know what to do? No, you don't. So what are you going to do? We need to wake up as Africans. Either you want to be Mbimbi or you want to be Umoja together. Umoja together. This I'm talking more because this is serious business. If we don't do something this coming month, if we don't do something this coming month, next month, forget it. I always say, go to the ports there and wait to be put in ships to go back to to go to China to grow rice. That's what I always say. So with that, Dr. Susan, I hand the thing back to the team. And my team will show you their passion and why we need to get this done very quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, Professor Huntington, like you rightly said, before you even leave us, one thing that you articulated that sounds so real is the same thing that we had. King Bugane said it yesterday. We need visionaries, but you have to understand, we're differentiating from the voices, the people that think, but they are not visionaries. And so I think every category fits in, like the representative on your team. You have the visionaries, you have the doers, you have the voices, right? And so all this is, some people speak, it's all right. Some people have to do, but some people are the visionary. And I really thank you because you're a combination of these three tools that are essential for every community to develop. So thank you so very much, sir. And I'll be getting back to you. But like you said, let us listen to the young people. What is it that the young people are doing on the Rapid Africa Plan? How far have they come? How much more do they need to go? I'd like to have one after the other because I think the whole team is not yet settled here. Some people are still trying to lock in. Like I see most of them in the lobby, their cameras are not turned on. They still have some technical challenges. So I would like to have the Princess Gold of the Rapid Africa Plan, Molapo, on the show with me. Yes, so as you can see, because we don't have the vice president, and this is what Professor Huntington forgot to tell us, the Queen, who is also the vice president of the Rapid Africa Plan, is currently not here. She's on mission for the Rapid Africa Plan, but she sends the Princess Molapo joining us right now. Good evening, Molapo. How are you?
Good evening, Dr. Susan. I'm fine, and everyone out there, I'm okay. And I hope everything is fine by your side too.
Oh yes, as you can see, the Rapid Africa Plan is putting everybody on the hook, on touch. We don't sleep, yeah? The plan is getting so fast, and so all of us are conscious and aware. Up a lot of things that you've been posting, you've been engaging a lot, women in conversation, young people, all class of it. Everywhere I go on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the Rapid Africa Plan, there is Molapo there. What has been the agenda? What is your drive?
Can you please repeat what you just said? There's just a bit of a network problem.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I said in the past time, from the last time you were here, you've been very active mobilizing the young people for the Rapid Africa Plan. Can you tell us more on that?
Yes. what I've learned about the Rapid Africa Plan as a whole and me mobilizing the youth is to understand that, is to make people understand that we don't really have to have the victim mentality. You know, a lot of the youth, especially as we're awakened, we see what's really going on. But the problem of us is because we have the victim mentality. You know, we like to blame, playing a blaming game on others instead of taking responsibility of our actions. You know, mobilize is to understand where they are from. Remember that the Rapid Africa Plan is a combination of both the old and the younger generation. So, if with the younger generation, we need to understand their mindset first. Why are they becoming the victim mentality? And why is that everything about them has to be about enjoying the youth or enjoying the time that you have, but you don't have that time to sort out your issues at home? You know, everything is about finishing your money, finishing your last drink, going out, you know. So we need to eradicate that mentality as soon as possible. I mean, other races, as young as 21 years old, they are becoming inventors of the nation. They are becoming problem solvers. They're becoming entrepreneurs. You know, imagine a 21-year-old inventing a robot. You know, us, we invented, but it's just like we don't really actually care about our potentials. We put our potentials at the very last. And imagine when we reach up until 50, 60, that's where you realize that actually I should have done this when I was a very young person. You understand? So we need to change that mindset. When you have to mobilize the youth, we have to change the mindset of the youth that not everything about life is about partying, you know, doing stuff that are just completely out of order. There are times where you need to focus and fix the issues that are facing around Africa. And another thing, what I've realized about the youth of Africa is we have so much potential. There's so much potential and there's so much talent within us, you see. And what I've noticed again as well with the kind of generation is different from our parents. You know, our parents have this thing that, the youth of today are somehow different from us. The way you guys are living, you guys have an easy life, you guys have this and this. It's not that we have an easy life. We're going through a whole lot of challenges, but we don't show it like our parents did. So all I can say is we, as both old and the young generation, we need to come together as one. We need to come together as one and solve the issues. Remember, in the African proverb, the parent or the older person in the family is the one that actually guides the younger generation. The younger generation is the one that completes the what's been assigned, you understand, by anyone that's giving you a job, you see, or anything that you have to do, whether in politics or whether in the family or whether elsewhere. You know, our parents need to guide us, but in a way that it's understandable, in a way that it makes sense, and not just to prejudge everyone all in the name of the new generation or the new set of generation that we're in. Yeah.
This this is wonderful. This is incredible. I hear you speaking and speaking so loud. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, beautiful. You talked about changing the mindset of the young people, and you also talked about the need for the connection between the older and the younger generation, and that we should both work together. Now, from your experience, what are some of the challenges that you have seen? For instance, you said we grow up in a system, yeah, according to our traditions, the elder people would lead the younger one, which of course is okay. But now you are growing in another point in time where you're more exposed to other things than our parents now, and so there is a conflict of understanding somehow. Do you have that feeling that we are not communicating on the same level? Just even the use of technology, our parents don't communicate like we do. How are we going, or what are the solutions that will really merge that? Is it education? Is it mobilizing people? Like you're saying, we have to get a people's alliance. How do you want to achieve that kind of working together as young people looking back in the older generation?
All right. The first thing I can say is I'm a person that is very interested in human psychology and counseling. So what I think is, due to the variety of the cultures now that we have today, the youth culture, the adult or our own our power or parents culture, is to sit down. We should sit down and actually think that we should go for counseling. I think counseling, it will be great, because remember that we both have different experiences, so counseling will be the way. And remember that our parents themselves too, they've been exposed to, some of them, like here in South Africa, apartheid has dismantled their mentality. So everything about it has to be about democracy, but they don't want to think about, what about the black community? How are they being fed? We don't really look at such issues. We have to look at, oh, we're in a democratic society, and that's it. So, you know, counseling is a way, and therapy should be the way for both young and the older generation. You understand? To solve this whole issue that we are going through.
Beautiful. And I see the team of the Rapid Africa Plan having therapists and counselors like you. I'm sure that program is working very well in the Rapid Africa Plan, isn't it?
Working. It's working. It's on its way. We're planning to invent counseling. But I first have to study human psychology. I have to go to a college or a varsity or elsewhere to study human psychology in order for me to acquire a license. But in any case, I'm really, really passionate about changing the mindsets, because it all starts within the mindset before the physical part of it. So whatever that you think, even the universe, it happens, and it happens twice. So I believe that in order to change, we should change our mindset before we do action. Because if we do action, if we just rush in to do action, like into handiwork, yes, I agree that we should do that. We should participate in a handiwork. But if you don't focus on our mindset, if you don't focus on healing, remember that mindset goes with the heart. So whatever it goes within the heart. And then you act in that certain point, and then in action it's something else. It can be either positive or negative. And one of the things I would like to add in terms of the Rapid Africa Plan, we need to unite through industrialization than politically. You understand? A whole lot of us, okay, we're united, but politically. And like what Prof said, that we need to think of industrialization, we need to think of development, we need to think development, we need to think how we can solve this. We need to stop actually talking. We need to stop. That's why I said that the victim mentality, going to WhatsApp, going to Facebook, posting, blaming, playing the blaming game. Oh, the Europeans and the Chinese are doing this and this. But what are you actually doing to solve that problem, rather than just posting on Facebook, rather than posting on Twitter? What are you actually? We want action. We want action. We want handiwork. You understand? That's why I said that we need to start from our mindset, because a whole lot of us, we are in competition with one another. We're in competition that who's better than this one is better than this one. And this is why it affects our mentality. And that's why when it comes to the action work, it's a problem. It's a problem. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Can you just give us one last example of, a mindset change? Just one example.
One example of a mindset change is have a student mentality. Have a student mentality. Be willing to learn anything. Be willing to learn. Be more open-minded to learn things or the situations that you surround yourself with than just maybe that you've learned that thing in a couple of years ago, you still implement it, but look around the whole world. The whole world is changing. Try to go with that change than just going backwards. You understand? So if implementing your own mentality than learning from the next person's mentality, it will never work. It will never work, especially when you're not willing to, you guys, maybe both of you are not willing to come together and solve this problem as one nation. Try to give out alternative solutions. Then what are we doing actually?
What are we doing actually? Yes. What are we doing actually? For those of you that are just joining, we are live on the Pan African Daily TV with the Rapid Africa Plan team. And they just a lot of them. I just heard from the technical that we have, even the junior Mobawai Wilson, who is also one of the epitome on this team, the new face of the Rapid Africa Plan, just joined us. So yes, thank you so much, Princess. We'll be getting back shortly on the conversation, but I want to have the agent of change, Chongo. Chongo is the voice
All
that
right, all
has
right.
been very, yes, thank you. It's been very articulative on the Rapid Africa Plan. I mean, we see him doing his live and mobilizing the youths out there, presenting even the Rapid Africa Plan to his family. Like Chongo says, you have to start from home. If they believe the plan, then we can take it to the street. So, welcome to the show, Agent of Change. I call him my champion. Yeah, because those are the young breed of the Pan African Daily TV and the Rapid Africa Plan. And today, they are the master planner of the RAP team. Mr. Chongo, are you there?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, Doctor, and good evening, everyone. I'm very glad and happy to be here to have this productive conversation, and I pray that it will be a conversation that will change somebody's heart out there who have been not lost, like hope in the African continent, and we are here to revive that hope in everyone. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. The topic for today is like an urgent call for an African People's Alliance. And in you, and I've been seeing you mobilizing. What is it that you want to achieve in your generation, on this plan?
Yeah, thank you very much. And actually, it relieves my heart when I see that finally the African agents of change are beginning to realize that unity is not only in words, but it's something that we need to even practice. And we are seeing now different leaders across the continent, across the world, coming together and joining their ideas and their forces to ensure that they come up with these or they implement the plans which they have for the continent. So what is it that we are trying to achieve? Or what we have been crying for is to unite the continent. And you and I knows or maybe aware that Africa was colonized and was not only politically colonized, but was also mentally colonized and also economically colonized. But one thing which maybe we missed when we were fighting for the decolonization of the African continent was to realize that we needed to move as all the angles, all what the colonizer touched, which is decolonizing the mind of an African, also to decolonize the economy in Africa. And seeing these ideas and the great minds and plans of African Pan-Africanists coming together under the African Alliance movement, it relieves my heart because I'm beginning to see now that our cries as young people have not fallen on deaf ears. Our elders who are our leaders who have more experience are beginning to listen to us, and they are responding to us by mobilizing and coming together to implement the plans that has been there to make Africa great once again. And having all these plans now beginning to reorganize and coming together, we as young people as well, we have a bigger role to play because we must be open-minded and be willing to listen to our elders and be willing to work with our elders and bring our suggestions and our ideas, because we have all what it takes, like to be actively involved in this total transformation which we have been advocating for. But how do we bring our ideas to the table? Is through beginning first to learn about how our elders have been doing things and those who failed to succeed in some areas, and then ask for wisdom so that we create a brighter future for us, for ourselves, because it just few years from now will be the ones who will be responsible in analyzing or beginning to think as to how are we going to drive this continent, because that would be now our time. And we must realize that as we do whatever we are doing, history is being recorded. So what are we on the good side of the history of this continent? Those are the questions we need to begin to ask ourselves. And when we call for the unity of the continent, we must realize also that as young people, we are not only calling for the unity of our continent politically, but also there must be unity economically, and also in the way we think and look at ourselves as Africans. We are completely decolonizing Africa in all angles which were touched by the colonizer to ensure that Africa is stagnated at some point. And the questions that we must be asking ourselves is, are we doing something that is benefiting an indigenous African who have who doesn't have an opportunity, or who does not realize what we have realized or what we have come to learn as young people? So these are the things that we need to begin to focus on as young people. So if I have this information and I see the urgent need for us to unite as as Africans, I must pass this message to a young person like me who is going to understand me in my own language. As young people, we are going to understand each other and unite forces and convince them in our language that there is something that we need to do as young people. We are not too young to effect the change and bring that which the continent needs. So it's the high time that we begin now to approach every young people out there who is willing to accept or to follow suit to this call for the total liberation of our continent, so that when we have the young people on our side, it will mean that the future is safe for us, for the continent, because we'll have the same mindset which will be focusing on bringing or liberating the African continent, not only politically but economically and mentally, and to create an Africa which will realize that we are Africans and we are going to do that which will benefit the African continent, and our future generation will be in the safe hands as we leave this planet.
Beautiful. One more question before I go to the next guest to you. And the question would automatically also go to our next speaker tonight, who is going to be Mr. EO. He's also the new face on the Rapid Africa Plan, originally from Ghana, but outside in the diaspora, and a very, very passionate and positive young spirit as well. So after Chongo, we'll be listening to him. But now I open up the question. It's more challenging. I mean, Tia has talked about the mindset, and you're also talking about the youth getting engaged. One thing that I still miss, that I don't know whether that's the same spirit on the Rapid Africa, shouldn't the responsibility of the young generation also be questioning the elders of what they have been doing? If you look at the leadership on the continent, the elders are not even willing to give handover power to the young people. And so when we keep talking about mindset, maybe do you think that our mindset should even stop the idea of, I don't know, obedient African youth to elders that have been misleaders? Or should the youth hold the leadership and the elders accountable also for some misleading that they have done, so that we can start moving forward, holding a conversation where the young people and the leaders or the elders would have to sit at the table and listen to one another, not only the elders dictating to the young people and the elders themselves doing something wrong. Do you see that happening as a mindset change?
Yeah, I definitely see that happening. And one thing that I would maybe want to add to whatever has been said in responding to the question is that elderly also, like our elders, they must realize that they are they can also make mistakes. They can also make mistakes. The fact that they are experienced or they have more experience more than us, they are all prone to make mistakes. And when they make mistakes, and if we point out that, they must be willing to listen and adjust. So I'm not disappointed to see that a lot of things have not been done by our elders who are in position today, because there could be that maybe when they assumed power, they never had a clear vision or understanding of what our forefathers stood for when they founded this continent. Because when they liberated, they fought for the liberation of the continent. For instance, the likes of Kwame Nkrumah and other Pan-Africanists who stood and called for the total liberation of the continent, because they realized that Africa does not only require the political liberation, but also we need to mentally and economically decolonize Africa. But they did not listen to that. So that this message has to be passed on to all those who are willing to take it. And I'm glad that there are some leaders in Africa who have accepted this message and they are beginning to utilize it because they have, they have their understanding of what it is and what it's all about. So now that us as young people, we are privileged to have a little bit of understanding, though we are still learning, but we have an understanding of what it takes to completely decolonize this continent. And if we come up, it doesn't matter whether our leaders who are in position, if they take our leaders, doesn't mean that we are taking over or we are overthrowing their time or what they're doing at the moment. But we are just trying to offer our checks and balance and chip in, and then try to suggest that which may work for us, because we are looking at Africa 70 years from now, because we may be privileged to be there and they may not be there, and we are looking at what will it be, what is it going to, how are we going to be 70 years from now, 50 years from now? That's what we are looking for. So when we challenge them today, it's not that we are trying to take over, but we want to secure our future. So every young person must realize that one day, those who are in position today, they will not be there forever. There will be a time when we will also take over. But what type of a country are we going to inherit at that time, long after our present leaders are gone? And if we begin to think in those lines, it will mean that even the way we are going to have conversations, there will be productive conversation, those which will really bring, a more understanding and put ideas together on how we are going to shape our future and how we want to see an Africa 50 years from now. And by sharing that information, to mean that we are fixing our mindset and the mentality, how we are looking at things around us and how we can use that which we have in the continent, in Africa, and it will work according to what we have wished to see in the continent. Years after our leaders are no longer here with us, then we are the ones who take over, and we are going to live in a continent that we have dreamed.
Dr. Susan, your mic is muted. Your mic is muted, Dr. Susan.
All right. I'm sorry. I was just thanking Chongo for that explanation. Thank you. And we'll be having you next time on the Rapid Africa Plan. Thank you, Chongo.
Thank you.
Yes, I formally said that we were going to have EO, but because Kwame was not here, Kwame had to drive from Accra to meet us here, and now he just joined because that was his position before we get to EO. So I'm happy to have you here, Kwame.
Thank you very much, Dr. Susan.
What took you so long to be here?
I was traveling from work, so I came a little bit late from work to reach the house. So I've just arrived at my house, and then I switched on my computer.
Beautiful. Thank you. I hope everyone is safe out there in Ghana.
Yes, everything is moving on well. Even though the young people had they were agitating a little bit, they are not satisfied about certain things in the country, but I think things are coming back to normal right now.
Right. So how did you use the Rapid Africa Plan in its theory and visionary, according to Commander-in-Chief, Professor Huntington, to actually begin to pave that way out there for your generation on the continent?
Yeah, you know, the good thing about the Rapid Africa Plan is that Professor Huntington, when he was designing it, he designed it specifically for the youth. And he looked at people who have a stake in the continent, in the affairs of the continent. So, like, for example, a person who is 70 years right now does not have a stake in the continent as someone who is 20 years or 30 years, because within the next 20 years, the person who is 70 maybe may go away. He may, but the person who is 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 35, these type of people, they are still going to be here for a very long time. So it was designed in that we, the youth, will be able to drive it. He designed it for us to drive it with the understanding that the youth have this gift of imagination. Now, this imagination helps us to have a vision, you know, to see beyond what the elders can see. The elders have wisdom, but in all, you know, ages, in all revolutions which have happened, which revolution is needed on this African continent, they have been driven by the youth, because the youth have this ability to imagine the future compared to, you know, the elders. And one of the things which he has given us is that we should be able to think on a clean sheet. Look at Africa, what is happening today. There's a lot of problems, and everyone knows those problems. You see, the leaders are here. Today, I was watching the inauguration of President Museveni in Uganda, and I'm glad even that President Nana Addo was able to go and attend. He spoke about the problems in Africa, the insecurity which is happening in Africa. But unfortunately, they themselves, most of them who are sitting there who are presidents, they are not acting on these problems. Like, for example, the insecurity, when you talk of the insecurity which is in Libya, Chad, Niger, Mali, all these parts, now the insecurity has gone up to Mozambique. So they are not acting on it, and yet they are there. All of them are elders, some of them 70, you know, I think the list among them may be 60. But it's because we need to think on a clean sheet. When we are talking about economics, when we are talking about the security of the continent, we have to start on a clean sheet. We have to start reimagining how we can solve these problems. So the mindset, our mindset with which we are going to solve Africa's problem has to be re-engineered. So that is what the Rapid Africa Plan offers us, that we can be able to transform the continent within the next 40 years to a leading GDP of 60 trillion. Is this far-fetched? This is not a far-fetched dream. This is not a far-fetched vision. So why can we be able to transform the continent? Because when we look at the continent itself, we have enough resources, but those resources have not been mobilized. Okay, so we have more resources. Like, for example, if you look at Congo alone, around $80 trillion of resources in the ground. Zimbabwe alone, around $18 trillion I'm just picking two countries. So if you look at the whole continent, we could be having resources of up to $500 trillion. But those resources are not being used for the, for the benefit of Africans around the world. They are being used for the benefit of Europe, the United States, Asia, China, and all these other countries. So we have seen India also is coming on the other side. So we have enough resources. Now, we also have enough human resources. Around 65% of Africans now, they're educated on the African continent and in the diaspora. We have enough engineers. We have seen in the United States people like Dr. Thomas Mensah. A lot of our engineers are in NASA in the United States. A lot of them are in Europe. So what the Rapid Africa Plan is coming to do is to give us this hope that we have the resources on the continent. We have the human resources also is there. We are coming to reorganize those resources. The Rapid Africa Plan will reorganize these resources for the benefit of the Africans and the African people. So this is what I see, that it will lift the spirits of the youth up, and then it will be able to motivate them to act. And that is exactly what the Rapid Africa Plan is seeking, that the youth should come out and support it on all platforms, because all the platforms now are open. When you talk of Facebook, we are mobilizing everywhere. We have spoken to people on the continent. The president himself has been on the continent several times, and he's about to come back. Now the team has been built. So these are all the things that, the good things which the Rapid Africa Plan is bringing to us. But what I would like to say is that in all ages, when we go back through the revolutions which have happened for the African people, we can talk of the Haitian Revolution, which happened in Haiti. It has been the young people who have led these revolutions. You can talk of the civil rights movement in the United States. It has been the young people, people like Martin Luther King Jr. By the time they signed the civil rights bill in the United States, it was just 29 years. When you talk of Malcolm X, these were young people in their 30s. You talk of Kwame Nkrumah, Nelson Mandela, all these were young people. Patrice Emery Lumumba, these were young people, all of them. Patrice Lumumba, by the time he started, to agitate, to organize the people, he was in his 20s. So this is the importance of the youth when it comes to bringing about the revolution. And in these times we are in, they are not different. They are not different. History works with the patterns. If you look at history, there is patterns which are repeated at every stage. Like when we go back to the independence movement, which happened in 1945, 1947, up to 1957, when the Gold Coast achieved its independence, there was certain signs which our ancestors saw. I would like to repeat that. There is certain signs which our ancestors saw. For example, when you say what was happening between the superpowers that time, we had Europe had just come out of the war, and there was a lot of weakness in Europe. So our ancestors sat in Manchester at the Pan-African Congress, and they noticed these weaknesses. And they said that Europe has just come out of the World War II. Now they are weak. If we take this advantage, we take advantage of them, we will be able to agitate and achieve independence. And that is exactly what happened in the Gold Coast. Our ancestors came here from 1945 up to 1957. That's a period of around 12 years of agitation. And it's the same thing which happened, actually, when you look back what happened in Haiti. There was a war between France and Britain in 1791, because the United States had just gained independence, and Britain was having this contest with France of who should be supreme. So they were fighting for supremacy, economic supremacy, because they were supplying sugar and cotton. Now, the slaves in Haiti, they noticed that France and Britain, they are under a contest, they are fighting against each other. They noticed a weakness there. You see, because they were fighting over, over the Atlantic, because France wanted to come and take slaves. It used to buy slaves from Britain. Now Britain was saying they should not take slaves anymore. Britain was saying they should abolish slavery, because it doesn't want France to rise up economically and overtake it. So they were contesting. So this is where the chance came for our ancestors to agitate it. But our ancestors agitated from 1791 up to 1805. That is a period of 13 years. It took them a period of 13 years. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that there is signs even today when you look around. There's a lot of things which are going on. We can talk of COVID. You can talk of Brexit. These are signs, all of them. You can talk of Scotland, even itself. You can see that it is still agitating. It wants to separate from Britain. There's a lot of chaos in Europe. You can see how coronavirus has hit these people more than it has hit Africa. So you can see the economic depressions which have been happening. In the United States, they are printing a lot of money. So these are all signs which are showing us. And the rise of China actually has also contributed greatly to the decline of what is called the imperial powers, the United States and Europe. The rise of China has led to a new shift. There's a paradigm shift in power to the East. And all these are to the advantages of Africa. These are all to the advantages of the African youth, that we are supposed to notice these patterns. Once we notice these patterns, then we also start here agitating. We start here pushing our movement also. Because right now, what we have as the biggest enemy on the African continent is imperialism itself, neocolonialism and its leaders, which it has planted on the continent. But when we have something as nice as the Rapid Africa Plan, which has come to reorganize the resources, then it is up to we, the youth, it is up to we, the young people, to rally behind in all forms, all forms. I will say all forms we have to rally behind. And the other organizations, all of them, we have to try and rally behind, because we have to have a plan as African people. The independence movement, they had a plan. Their plan, their vision was to achieve independence in the shortest time possible. Like if you go to Kwame Nkrumah, he said, independence now, we want independence now. So this generation also, as African people, we have to have a vision which we are rallying behind. The 18th century vision was to abolish slavery. And our people in Haiti, they rallied and they beat France. They were able to defeat France. They were able to defeat Napoleon, you know, and they achieved independence. So this generation also, we have to take responsibility and rally behind something. And that's something right now, what we see is the Rapid Africa Plan, which has come up right now. So all of us, we have to mobilize ourselves. And the other thing which I see that is very advantageous in our generation is that when you look at us, we are more educated. You see, we are more skilled compared to our ancestors. And the other thing is that we have more resources compared to our ancestors. So it is up to us to mobilize these resources and focus them towards one vision. We have so much, you know, you can talk of Dr. Susan right now, we can come here and speak to thousands of people. You see, our ancestors, they never had these advantages. They had to write a letter and send it and travel from Britain and go to Ghana, like when you see what Nkrumah did. He had to travel from Britain, pass through Liberia, you know, and then go to the Gold Coast. But today we can speak to thousands of people. We have a lot of us have some small business. We have some resources which our ancestors did not have. So there is no excuse for us not to rescue Africa. There's no excuse for us to be cowardly and not fight for Africa. So that is all I can say for now, Dr. Susan.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you so much. I know you're just coming from work, like you say. So we are grateful that you joined your team to give up this feedback on why the young people should actually rapidly wrap themselves into the Rapid Africa Plan. So thank you so very much, Kwame, for being here. Have a nice time out there. We'll be seeing ourselves shortly again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Susan.
Thank you. We'll be having the next speaker, who is EO. EO is the new face on the Rapid Africa Plan. I must really tell you something that though we see the Rapid Africa Plan and like the first or Kwame was just saying, every opportunity is laid out for the African. particularly the young people, because we are now on the timetable with the youth. But I still miss something. I still just miss. I hope EO would actually, motivate me or give me another drive. I don't see the African youth being aggressive enough to take over this continent. I'm disappointed. I'm absolutely disappointed. We keep saying we are awoke, we are this, but we come here, we narrate the history or that, even though we are presenting, the agenda and the situation in state. The Rapid African young people are actually doing everything in their own small space, but we miss the aggressiveness of the African. They're still very comfortable posting, sharing. Yeah, we're mobilizing. How? How are you doing that? Now, if you're new on the Pan-African Daily TV, you remember we're having our Campaign 21 Agenda 21 to get 1 million subscribers, and we will deliver. And the Rapid Africa plan is mobilizing the young people, because what we are going to do with those 1 million warriors is to spark up that fire in the African. You're too passive. I don't see you taking over any continent, negotiating with the leaders, not holding them accountable. No, we understand that they had their own mistakes. What kind of mistakes? The world that we're living in today is more challenging than the one that they had. But nevertheless, during their period, like your predecessor said, the Martin Luther, they were in their 20s, the Thomas Sankara, but we had the voices. We saw them going out, the Bob Marleys. At what time? They started writing freedom songs. Today, what are we seeing? We're just seeing youths that are just, comfortable doing something else. Now, EO, tell me, what would your generation do with the Rapid Africa plan? Are you rapid enough? Are you aggressive enough? Do you really see yourself with this kind of, attitude of, taking over? We have to follow the steps of the past. We have to be so passive and organized. How organized and rapid should this plan work to spark out the youth? Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Susan. I appreciate you inviting us to join your show, and hello to all your viewers. We're here to, bring the message, right? The message of rallying behind the plan. And I like the question that you asked, Chongo. If you look at the Rapid Africa plan, is a reset. The logo is actually a reset, right? And then just to piggyback on your question that you asked, we are energized, and we know that we have a plan that we can rally around. And this past year, I had the privilege of joining a few conferences in Africa, right, where we had a lot of conversation about what are we going to do. We list all our problems, right, and people come up with ideas, different ideas that they think might be able to be helpful. Then I pose this question. So how do we put together everybody to make this happen? And I wasn't able to find an answer until I was called on by the Rapid African Plan group, to get involved and be part of what is going on. The reason why I'm saying this is my background is civil engineering and also quantitative finance, which is data science. And in anything like project management, you want to know, how do we get from point A to point B, right? We're trying to streamline the process, okay, so that we're not all over the place. So this is a rallying call for all African youth, all the youth out there, that join, this rapid Africa plan. And it's a rallying call. You rally behind this plan because we have a pathway. We're trying to streamline the process from A to point B. If you're a youth, you're concerned about, okay, what future are we building for ourselves? And what continent do we want to live in and also pass on to our children? If you're an adult, you're not left out, because in the plan, we're looking at what kind of legacy are you leaving for, the next generation. So this is what, the plan is about. Is a rallying call in the inception right now. Get in the group, bring your friends, bring, your colleagues, bring your
college student, bring your co-workers. Let's, we have a plan already. It said that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. There is a plan. So let's get behind it and let's make it work.
That's powerful. And when you got on board, right up to now, what are your activities on the Rapid Africa Plan?
Well, yeah. So yeah, I've been in several of the meetings because I have a business background, innovative background, engineering background. Even before I joined the Rapid Africa Plan, I was hosting a YouTube show trying to energize African youth to get into AI and data science, because that is an industry that is very lucrative, that will bring us a lot of revenue to do what we want to do. And then when I joined, the Rapid Africa Plan, I even saw that my inputs were more accepting. I have many calls with the professor, talking about ideas on how we're going to together make this thing impactful. So I've been called upon to chime in on meetings that have to do with industrialization, that have to do with media, that have to do with just strategizing to get people together under one umbrella. We don't want disjointed stuff. We don't want this one has a idea somewhere and they're doing their own thing. That's what the professor was saying, that it's plagued Africa this so long. Either we're doing Umoja or we're doing, I forget, I'm not really from Southern Africa, so I'm not able to say. I need to learn some Swahili though. But we need to rally behind one idea, a plan. The Asians did it. They strategized, knowing that in a generation they are able to transform their continent, and they did it, and they are doing it. So it's tried and tested. We're just saying that let's rally behind, let's come together and make this thing work.
Now, do you see it working? Do you see the energizing? I mean, like I still say, you've been there putting out this artificial intelligence and all this with the young people. What have been the reaction? Why do you believe that we would do it? Is it good enough, or we need to?
It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, how? Chongo already. So I mean, I'm not even going to go on that side. But people are excited. People want to do something. People are getting into farming and they want to apply all the latest technology that there is to improve their lives and also improve their lives of their family. And the beautiful thing that I'm seeing, that is, it's not that I'm from Ghana. People that are doing things on the continent now, it doesn't matter where they're from. I see people from Kenya going to Ghana to help people do something. I see people from Nigeria come to Ghana to help you. I've seen somebody as far as from, I believe it was Zimbabwe or Mozambique, coming to Ghana to help people, to give out skill, like share skills and come together to build Africa for ourselves. So yes, if we have that plan, that will make this scale, right? Because they are doing it like individually, like their small set, their small business, their small community. But if we're able to scale this, just like the professor is saying, he's been on the continent, he's met a few people, and the implementation is already started, So the whole idea is to, scale it so that everybody that is involved under the same umbrella knows what to do and how the plan is going to forge forward.
Okay, thank you. The workforce is what I miss. Like you said, you've been active, like a YouTuber, and I know that the Rapid Africa Plan has a fresh YouTube channel. Do you host seminars to educate the young people on the Rapid Africa Plan and its objectives and the reason why the time is right now? We keep talking about, look at the China youth, look at this. I really wonder if the China youth sit down one day and say, look at the African youth or what they're doing. And the focus is here. So on a daily basis, do you run that channel? What actually do you do on a day-to-day basis on the Rapid Africa Plan?
So on the Rapid Africa Plan, yes, there is. We have a media director, and she's in charge of, making sure that the messaging is right. So with this question, I'll rather defer to the media director to be answered that. But in my own part, yes, I'm playing my part. I have information. People can reach me anytime. But we're doing it under the same umbrella, Rapid Africa Plan, because I don't want to do things, how do you call it, in isolation, right? The whole idea is to come together to streamline the process of making Africa work for ourselves, improving it for the next generation. So that's the whole idea. In our own way. I mean, I know people have reached out to me, like in the background, and whatever information that I have, I'm able to provide to them. But the whole idea is to come together. That's the thing. Come together. If you're an Africanist, if you're a friend of Africa, whatever your plans are, come together under the same umbrella and let's make this plan work.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, EO. I mean, I know it's the first time and you are the fresh face on the Rapid Africa Plan, but I hear all the good vibes and all the power that you're bringing in there with your know-how and your background. It's amazing what you're doing. So keep up the good work and we would follow up. And like you said, and like I'm saying, it is about accountability as well. It's not just doing, it's we draw back and we ask. I need you to ask me questions. I need you to challenge your leaders, your elders, and not just do. And that is what I miss in the African generation and the young people. And I hope we'll be able to pass this message across. We're not saying that go to the street and only riot, but you don't see that hunger for change. So I know you are going to bring that, because you've been doing that and you have the skills and the talent and the background that it needs to drive this Africa Rapid Plan or Rapid Africa Plan. So thank you so very much for being here, AO. And
absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Susan, and thank you to all your viewers.
Thank you too.
Right.
Oh, I wanted to bring Tia on the program right now, and from what I see from the technique, I think she's connecting right now. But let's just listen to this piece, this wonderful piece, just to introduce the princess, who is, I think, the composer or songwriter or one of the voices that you will hear here on the new Africa Plan Anthem. I call it the Anthem. It's going to be available soon. So let us just chill out, relax.
All day. No, we don't go carry us no more. And I ever take action. If you believe that you wrong, you sing the move that show. Let them understand who you are is bigger than the world. Yeah, so many years and so many ways to try to pull us down. By the time it's down, we'll turn the things around. So we're moving to the top, yeah. And we're never gonna stop, but no, cause we are one nation, one people. We will show that, yeah, show. The motherland is calling. And if you hear me loud and clear, you should be reporting it. We got all the golden diamonds, they see. Giant baby dance, cause we get the foot jumping abundance. Africa.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. That's the latest. I'm just giving you just the tip of the iceberg, because that's what is going to happen. And you can hear from the beats and from the Afro swing in it that the African Rapid Plan has been working and putting out a massive plan there. Now we'll all invite you to go to this homepage, the Rapid African homepage. We just drop it here, where you can see the work that they've been doing out there, where you can follow up with their contacts. They're available on Twitter. They're available on Instagram, on YouTube. They have a fresh homepage. I mean, I went in the other day when Sim, who is called AKA Ano, he's the program director, the coordinator, the speech, the everything that you can see behind, but he's more of the background person. So shout out there to you, Ano, for this wonderful work that you're doing in the background. We appreciate you. So, but like I was saying, you already heard from that song, Tia here in the house. So Queen Tia is right here in the house. She's one of the voice and the composer and the songwriter and the producer at the same time. I think also the dancer. And when the video will be shot out, you're going to see Tia. Hello, Tia, how you doing?
Greetings. everyone. How are you doing, Dr. Susan? I'm so
Uh,
excited
I'm
to
not doing
see
fine if
what's
I can't
going
hear
on with
you the way you're hearing me. You need to check your volume a little bit.
Okay. I can hear you
Much
loud and
better.
clear. How is it? Okay.
Good.
Maybe I how is
Beautiful. But you can hear me, right?
yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good. Welcome, welcome, and it's a pleasure. I mean, I've just been dancing to this rhythm out there. Have you been busy composing this piece? What is it that you saw and said, no, we need a rhythm to accompany the Rapid Africa Plan? And I also hear that you're playing two major roles here. It means after your conversation, you're going to be introducing the second part of who is going to be doing what in here, and some of the prominent faces that we're having, the new faces of the Rapid Africa Plan. So over to you, Tia.
Thank you, Dr. Susan. So, I am part of the media and marketing team of the Rapid Africa Plan. So, we are here to drive the plan and conscientize the youth to join in the Rapid Africa community. So, I love this because a lot of we had lost hope and we had lost direction and good leadership and guidance. So this plan, it really gave her, it really gives empowerment, it really gives hope, it really gives you the power to dream again and know that anything is possible in Africa. You have to invest in yourself because you are the seed of Africa's the youth. So I, as a musician, I believe that a lot of people love music. So I thought, why not use music, something that is close to people's hearts, bring them towards something that is productive and that can be so heavily enrooted in the growth of Africa. So I had to put rhythm to it. And this song helps us to embrace what makes us feel special about Africa and what can we do to make Africa great again. So it gives us that we have lost throughout the years, the hope. It gives us the light to a purpose that as the youth we had lost, and we had lost for ourselves and for Africa. So I'm so glad to be part of this amazing group of people, to be part of this plan, because it is going to be huge and Africa will rise. So if you are not rightly positioned, you will not rise with Africa. So we are saying here at Rapid Africa Plan, join the community, join Rapid Plan. We are on all social media networks, Rapid Africa Plan, under that name. So it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Join us and help towards building the Africa that you want. So this is something that has the practical means to achieve what we want for Africa in the next 40 years, for Africa to be developed so that we don't have to this beauty that we want outside, but definitely here in Africa.
Beautiful. I mean, I'm going to take away a little bit of the mindset and the culture and the information. I want to get to something very, very strategic. Now, if you look at the we talking even always on the minds, and now because we know the Rapid Africa Plan has, this connection, bringing the youth. Professor Huntington told us, I wrote it and I hand it over to the young people. So now you have the plan. And if you look at the structure of the Africa that we have now, the girl child, for instance, don't have a lot of privileges like the boy child. Look at the leadership on the continent and look at the structures that we have. There are a lot of privileges that the girl child is not taking up in terms of leadership, in terms of nation building, in terms of contributing. Where do you see the problem and what is the solution to that?
I think, as my fellow youth K Molapo mentioned, that we need to stop the vehement belief that we can. Believe it or not, although the opportunities are scarce, but there are a lot of women in Africa that are doing so great and that are contributing towards a better Africa. So there are opportunities. I think our women nowadays, they're very brave. They're very determined. So we just have to push, because there are areas where opportunities are there. We have to bust that door. It's not easy for everyone. We have to, work hard to be where we want to get. Of course, the situation hasn't been very favorable towards everyone, especially the female gender. But I still do believe that we have to keep knocking on those doors, and the opportunities are there, but we have to fight for it. And Africa knows that without the women, all of this wouldn't be possible. So I believe we just have to keep empowering ourselves, keep supporting those groups that are supporting women, and using these opportunities that are there. Anything is possible. I want to drive people away from from that notion that the opportunities are not there. How can we do it without this and that? But to just keep fighting and know that without fighting, we'll not be able to realize our dreams. We'll not be able to realize these opportunities. So, yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah, the opportunities are there, very okay. But I talked about specifically privileges. In the Rapid Africa Plan, for instance, you have seminars, you have workshops, or you have a plan for this equality in terms of even job, employment, the kind of jobs that the African girl child should do, which are some of the professions that I say, no, it's just for the boy child. For instance, raising our kids. And in the educational system, most of our kids were raised to understand that the girl child should always be the subordinate, not humble, right? And even in that education system, it was taught, even in some of these traditions and our culture, that no, he's the son, so he deserves to get this. I mean, do you see this Rapid Africa Plan? And even just starting that discussion, when we talk about gender, we're talking about privileges that are aligned. So I would try to understand that in the Rapid Africa Plan, why Chongo is, for instance, working on mobilizing the youth, that these seminars will go on developing also the boy child to grow up to know that we need to be together to drive the agenda. Not look at the leadership, look at the positions in every office and what. What is the plan forward of these privileges? Did I lost you? Oh, tears. Right. I think I can't hear you. Your volume. Oh, it's unfortunate. I know it is challenging, but this actually was a point where we wanted to have this issue of how do we start making our African girl child to understand that they have these privileges that they don't need to find. And what is the leadership or the future plan seeing as a possibility to empower these ones that are always notified as the weaker sex or the weaker gender? Anyway, I think we're going to have this technical issue here. So I'll be having Mr. Wilson Mobawai. I guess he's the junior on the Rapid Africa Plan. He actually would be introducing the concept, the programs, and the projects that they have out. So this is the exclusive. We've listened to the voice of the young people, their aspirations, and the drive. Yeah, and we are thankful for this Rapid Africa Plan to at least even have these ones that are talking and getting them on. So if Mr. Wilson is present in the show, I would like to welcome you for the first time, and please introduce yourself and what we expect in the next couple of minutes. Hello? Mr. Mobawai Wilson? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, I think we're not very lucky there. I would call on Dr. Kizembo if he's in the show, if he's in the lobby, who is also, I think, the CEO, or as I know, to give us an overview of how the structures of the Rapid Africa Plan is. I hear that there is a network out there and hear that there is a massive professional team that is putting up some project lineup there. Dr. Kisimbo?
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Susan, and a very good evening from here in Kampala, Uganda. Today we had the inauguration of the President Museveni, and so yeah, so revolutionary and yes, so very much greetings from Kampala, Uganda. So myself, I'm called Dr. Henry Clark Kisembo, and I'm a financial economist. I am also an economics planner, and I am involved in business consulting. And I am the CEO of the Rapid Africa Plan. So there's this huge mandate upon my shoulders to see how to drive the Rapid Africa Plan across the continent and across the globe. Yeah, so I'm very happy and excited to be on your show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, I understand being a chief executive officer is not always the point, but you just finally got into it and took up that position. What was your drive, or what was your interest?
My drive was majorly, I am a Pan-Africanist and also an advocate of Ubuntu, but also seeing that I have been so much involved over the last couple of years in transformative interventions for Africa across different countries. I built a company from scratch to now that is involved in the whole of the continent, and seeing that there are 60% young people below 25 and 70% below 30 years, and saying that what is the future of Africa. So when I got in touch with Professor Huntington Mbayowa, for me it was an already sellout, because I got to understand the philosophy behind the Rapid Africa Plan, and also to know that it's a plan which is transformative to modernize Africa, to industrialize Africa, but also an inclusive approach towards the growth and development of Africa, and inclusiveness not only within practitioners, but also the young people, the women of Africa, the youth, everybody to come and rally behind this plan. So for me, it was a sellout.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to. I think some of your members are trying to join, and there is some technical disconnection out there. I don't know where the problem is coming from. Anyway, thank you. I mean, so how does the structure of a Rapid Africa Plan, and what is it that we should know as the projects on it?
So basically, I will start by saying that the Rapid Africa Plan and now has grown and has expanded. The board has expanded. So you see that now there's the executive committee, there's the president, the vice president, the chief executive, and also a number of directorates where we have the mission which is charged with the projects, programs, and which I'll talk about in a minute, but also fundraising. We have finance directorate. We have the whole of the young people's directorate, communication and marketing, and this is mandated to run across delivering on the mandate of the RAP across the continent. So you see that we are spread out in different countries: West Africa, South Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, and we are all representing. So when I go to the side of the mission, right now what we are working on is encouraging institutions to rally behind this plan, the Rapid Africa Plan, and to see that we have the spirit of unity, because without the spirit of unity, there's going to be so many things, initiatives done on the African continent, but at the end of the day, there's a little bit of delivery here and there. So we call upon unity around the Rapid Africa Plan. And this unity does not is not discriminative. It includes the private sector, Pan-African organizations and institutions, the NGOs, the community-based organizations, academia, youth-led organizations. We call upon the industrialists, and also anybody out there should be a part of this Rapid Africa Plan, because it's a plan already in existence, and it's a plan that is looking to the whole transformation of Africa, emancipation of the African continent, whether it's the mindset, whether it's the attitude, whether it's the resources, whether it's the systems interventions. So that's more of the mandate. And also maybe to let you know that we are running a series of summits, and we are planning for the next summit. We had a summit about a couple of weeks ago, about a week or so ago, and also now next Saturday, this coming Saturday, we are having the All African People's Alliance second summit, and this summit is more of informing the Africans, the people who support the Rapid Africa Plan. What is the plan about? What is it? And how can we be unified? Because without unity, there's going to be a lot of different pieces here and there, but we need to come together to see that we have the emancipation and growth and development of the African continent from different angles. Back to you, Dr. Susan.
Thank you very much. I think that is a very strategic point. And I also hear about the Rapid Africa Network. Could you just tell us a little bit about that?
So the Rapid Africa Network is calling upon different organizations, institutions, individuals to come together and rally behind the Rapid Africa Plan. And then this makes up the network, because we need a whole network. There are different institutions, organizations, Pan-African organizations and institutions on the continent. There are a number of companies, there are a number of academia, researchers, innovators, the young people, or the youth-led organization. So this network is to come together in a unified way around the RAP, such that we can be able to discuss and also see how we can work together, we can collaborate. And then we see that we realize the mandate of reimagining and rebuilding Africa, and also giving Africa the right direction towards its emancipation and independence. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Is there anything that you want us to know about, some specifics or some upcoming events? You already talked about the African People's Alliance Summit that is coming up, the second version. If not, I'll be bringing Professor Huntington to join you in the conversation, and we open the question and answer in case people or your followers who want to ask direct questions to you. But also remember, to you viewers, we have the chat going on. So if you can't call directly on the show, you can drop your question in the chat box, where we would be able to bring it to the audience. Yeah, so we'll be opening the line shortly, but if Mr. Kizembo still has something to say, or we bring Professor Huntington live on the show back with us.
Yeah, I would say that the All Africa People's Alliance, the second summit, is happening this Saturday on the 15th, and the time zones is 2 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. EST America, 3 p.m. South Africa, and also 4 p.m. East African time. So this is a call upon all the different institutions that are thinking and planning and already working on the development, the growth and development of Africa, to join us at this summit, and also to go check out the different media platforms, the Rapid Africa Plan on Facebook, on YouTube, and then also the website of the Rapid Africa Plan to get more information. And also, I know there are quite a number of viewers on this show. If any wants to join in on this summit, I could share my email, which is hkisembo@gmail.com. So that is hkisembo@gmail.com. Let them drop me an email, and then I could give them more information. But there's a lot which is happening in these summits. A lot of people are joining these summits and sharing their views, perspectives, what they're doing on the African continent. So it's a lot is happening. I would say that it's really very, very exciting. Thank you so much.
Thank you also. Thank you so much. So registration to this summit, they just need to send you an email.
Yeah, they could send me an email, then I share with them the different links where they could register and how to log on to the summit. So you could read to the audience or share on your show the email, and then I will be able to reach out to all of them. But also the communication and media team is out there doing a lot of advocacy, promotion, marketing, and sharing of this information. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want to reach out again to Mr. Wilson if he can hear us. And
yes, I can hear.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you. We've been trying to reach out to you, and it wasn't possible. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you doing?
Fine. I mean, you sound like the junior Mawai and Professor Huntington. Any connection, or just that you're from the same place or working on the same program?
Yeah, we are brothers. So I'm the eldest and he's the youngest.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. This is good. I mean, I love that spirit. I mean, a big brother joining a Rapid African Plan. You must have really seen that your junior brother is a visionary, isn't it? Tell us more.
Yes. So the idea of the Rapid Africa Plan is an idea that he started almost 10 years ago, and me and him, were always discussing it, and it took a good part of 4 years for him to actually convince me about what he was trying to do. And this was 4 years of talking to each other, every day, almost for sometimes for as long as 4 hours. And I've got a lot of respect for him because he's actually given up his life for the Rapid Africa Plan because he believed in it. 10 years ago, he said to me, we had a project that we wanted to do, and I said to him, why don't we do this project? He said, no, I don't want to do any project anymore. I want to do Africa. And from that time onward, he set himself to work on the Rapid Africa Rapid Africa Plan, and it has taken this long to get to where we are today.
Beautiful. So, what is your role and major thing that you're doing? What is the role of the Rapid Africa Plan?
So basically, are you talking about my role or the role of the plan itself?
No, your role.
Yeah, so basically, the role that I've been playing in the Rapid Africa Plan is the fact that, I was one of the, first members of the Rapid Africa Plan with Mr. Mayo when he was setting it all up. When he was writing the book, he was bouncing off, ideas to me. And then the Rapid Africa Board was
Mr.
formed.
Wilson? Mr. Wilson. Your audio is very bad. There is some background noise. I don't know where it's coming from. Do you notice it yourself? Is there anything around you, maybe a fan or something like that?
Yeah. My phone is off. Let's try to switch off my phone. Apologies. Let's see if this is a phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I've switched off my phone. That's the only thing that is around here. So yeah, I can hear the background noise.
Anyway, just go try to see how we make the best out of it. How because you're speaking, but and you're bringing some very important issues there. But what do you have to say? I don't know. What about you, audience? Give me thumb ups if everything is okay with you. We roll. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I say just go on. It's not gone, but let's just hear from you.
Yeah. So basically, I've been working with with Mr. Marewa right from the beginning with the Rapid Africa Network, the Rapid Africa Plan. And as it progressed further, we realized the need to actually have a Rapid Africa Network. The whole idea of the Rapid Africa Network was because we've got this idea of improving Africa. We saw it fit that we needed to have a network to be able to draw people of African origin to that network. And the whole idea of bringing people to the network is about conscientizing them about Africa, all under this one network, which was under the slogan, one platform, one network, one voice. And the idea of the network is really born out of the fact that if you look at Africa pre-1959, most of Africa was actually colonized by the West. And when it was colonized by the West, everything that was African was considered to be bad. Yeah. To the extent that we as Africans actually began to, we could not believe in ourselves because we had been badly brainwashed. So the idea of having a network is really about bringing Africans together, reconscientizing them, recreating this brand called Africa, and reimagining what Africa can do. So in Africa, we've got the best president. I can still hear the noise. It's still bad.
But I think we'll have to get on with you some of the time. Yeah. But thank you so much. As you said, it's all about the network and the network building of other groups and all the platforms, to come out with a global network for the Rapid Africa. So thank you for being here. It's really happy. I don't even hear you, basically. Yeah.
It's all gone quiet now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all gone quiet. I don't know whether the sound was coming from here because it's completely quiet now.
Yes, I think it was not even from your own end, as I see. All right,
yeah. Now I can hear you very clearly.
Go ahead. Go ahead now. Let's hear you.
Yeah. So what we're trying to do is to really rally behind, this African network. And one of the questions that people quite often ask me is, what is the difference between this network and Facebook? So, the first thing is really, Facebook was not started by Africans. Facebook is not, it's not an African, it's not an African idea. It's a good idea, but it does not have the African interest at heart. So the thing about the Rapid Africa Network is that it's a network that has got interests of Africans at heart. And also, the other quite important thing is the fact that Facebook creates quite a lot of value around the world, but Africa never sees that value. That value is never shared in Africa. So the whole idea of creating an African network is about bringing all Africans together under one network. When you bring all these Africans under the one network, you're actually going to create, you're going to create value, and that value is created by people connecting with each other. The value is created by business promoting themselves. And when business are promoting themselves, we generate, income on the network. And when we do generate that income, it is going to serve Africa. It's going to be shared in Africa. The people that are going to be employed by the network are all going to be Africans. So if, for argument's sake, we ended up employing, say, 500 people, that's going to be 500 less people in Africa that are, that are unemployed. That is going to be 500 less families in Africa, that are deprived of poverty. So the whole idea of the network is really about how we can create this value and share it within Africa. And part of it is really is a political issue, in that why should we be supporting Google? Why should we be supporting Facebook when they are not adding any? When they're adding very little value to Africa? Why can't we rally behind our own network where we can create the value and share the value, between ourselves?
Okay. Thank you very much. And what is it? Where can people join this network?
So this network is available both on the Play Store, and it's also available on App Store. So if you go to the Play Store and type in Rapid Africa Network, you will find it, or App Store. And also, we've got a link that we're sharing.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you. I mean, it was a pleasure being here, getting a family support, and you also supporting Professor Huntington is the most wonderful kind of spirit that we want to see. The Africa that we all unite with the same vision, with the same power, empowering one another, supporting one another, and playing that key role. So thank you. It was really a pleasure, Mr. Wilson, to have you here. And it will be always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I think we don't have Prof there anymore. So if there are some questions, the CEO is here to take those questions with you while we round up to end of the show in a couple of minutes. So you can call, ask your questions directly, or you can send them through our chat group. But remember, the Rapid Africa Plan has this network. They have their homepage, and this homepage, we drop the link in the chat. Ano is also moderating, so he can put the links all in the chat group here for you to follow up. But you can type it, Rapid Africa Plan, on any of the social media platforms. You're just going to get it. It's not even difficult to find any group or initiative that is existing out there anymore. So it is a wonderful time. I mean, I'm still wondering. A lot of people that we had here on the list could not connect because of issues, technical issues, a network or whatever. So it's time for Q&A with the CEO of the Rapid Africa Plan. And while we're waiting to take your calls or to round up, if there are no calls, we would just like the CEO to round it up and give us the way forward for the Rapid Africa Plan. Dr. Kizimbo? Name the andere raus.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Susan, and really appreciate being on your show, and also the Rapid Africa Plan, like all the audience and the listeners, the viewers have had, is a plan that has been well thought out. It's a plan to transform the African continent, reimagining Africa, and it's an all-inclusive plan. It does not discriminate in any way. It's all about Africa reimagined and looking at the modernization, the industrialization, but also saying that we work alongside the network, which means that bringing together all different stakeholders and actors on the continent and in the diaspora. It doesn't matter whether they're in academia, whether it's a private sector, whether they're in government, or it's youth organizations or non-government civil society organizations. So we call upon all of them to rally behind the Rapid Africa Plan, because we have a plan. There is a plan. We can't say that there's any rhetoric or talk which has been. There is a well thought out plan to drive Africa from now to the next 40 years, looking at the African Agenda 2063. So there is this plan to work with countries. There is the vision, the plan is there to work with different countries across the continent, the 55 countries, the African continent. But we call upon the unity of all the different stakeholders on the continent and in the diaspora to to come join hands. That's why we are having this summit, the All Africa People's Alliance summits. So we just had one, and there's a second one coming up, which is this Saturday. So we call upon everyone to join us. Africa is not only an emerging market, but it's where resources are here. We are going to create jobs for young people. We are going to see innovation happening on the African continent across different countries, customized to their context. So we call upon the unity and also people to rally behind this plan. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I think we end up having direct questions coming up from the chat. Thank you so much, Kofi, for being here. And so we're rounding up this program. So thank you so much, our CEO, and all these guest speakers that have been out here tonight. I want to give a personal shout out to Yasin Ano for putting out this wonderful project together. It is not easy to coordinate and to build this structure, so you're doing an excellent and marvelous job. Now, if you haven't followed the Rapid Africa Plan, now you know where to find them. The link is in this chat here on YouTube, on WhatsApp, on Twitter. They have their groups, their network, which is the Facebook kind of app, which every organization is developing theirs, to get their members and their followers to join so that they can have that space for them. Why not? So, yes, we thank you so much for being here and keep up the good work. I mean, I just like your name, Dr. Henry Clark. Was that a coincidence? Dr. Kizembo?
Yeah, that name, Dr. Henry Clark, it's
adjust your camera.
It's a coincidence. Yeah, it's a beautiful coincidence because that's the name I was given as a child, only to grow. And I read the book authored by Dr. Henry Clark, and I was like, wow, what a coincidence that we have almost the same mentality, mindset, and thinking, and just happened.
Well, but you see, all right. So you grew up into being Henry Clark, and now you said, no, I have to also be a Dr. Henry Clark. Is that it?
Yeah, so I grew up Henry Clark Kisembo, and when I got my PhD in financial economics and also the PhD in economic development finance, then at times I go, people are telling me that, have you read a book by Dr. Henry Clark? I'm like, why? You are a Pan-Africanist, and you talk much about Africa, the development of Africa. You live on the continent. You could have had your way to live anywhere. Have you read the book? I'm like, okay, I'll look for the book. When I read it, I was like, what a coincidence that we share names with somebody who's really done a lot of work for informing the transformation of Africa. And also, when I teamed up with Professor Huntington, I just realized that we have the same mindset, similar, and vision for Africa. And yes, I am driving the Rapid Africa Plan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the entire crew. And thank you to all our viewers. Yes, and it's been a pleasure to host you, to have you, and we see ourselves next time with the next step and the next phase of the Rapid Africa Plan. Thank you, Dr. Kizombo, and good night to you out there.
Okay, good night.
Thank you. Yeah, and I want to thank all our viewers that joined into this program. I mean, you guys were massive on the show. A lot of people actually commenting the work of the young people out here. This is the spirit. I mean, I love it so much, particularly when we have young people that are engaged, that are motivated to join. And really a special, we're doving our hearts out there to Professor Huntington, who is putting this thing tirelessly. And like he said, and like I know it, you cannot handle these things. You have to give up jobs or anything and work only for the nation. It's the same thing that we're doing on the Pan-African Daily TV. Now, what are we doing actually? Do you have a group? Do you have a plan? Do you have an organization? Do you have an initiative that is Pan-African, and you have goals, and you are working in the same movement of Pan-Africanism for a One Africa agenda? We are ready to host your program. And tonight you just saw that this program was organized and put in place by the Rapid Africa Plan. I already said it, yeah. And under the leadership of Professor Huntington, and we only did the hosting on the Pan-African Daily. So that is the main objective of the Pan-African Daily. We host your corporate programs. We host all Pan-African initiatives, all worldwide, from the diaspora and on the continent. What is our focus? We, a lot of people like throw questions like, how are we focusing? How do we choose guests and stuff? Yes, we have categories. We have the ones that are the voices, as you can see from the Rapid Africa Plan. We have the visionaries as well. Then we have the storytellers, but then we have the scholars and the teachers and the experts. These ones fall into the category of, I give you an example. If you take Professor James Small, he's a scholar, he's a teacher, he's a leader. He's been in advocacy for a One Africa, for Pan-African, from generation to generation. Now, okay, he's a doer, he's a speaker, he's a mentor, he's a teacher, he's everything. That is that kind of a class. We're talking about Dr. Arikana, His Excellency Chief Omboriko. That is a leader, that's a scholar, that's an expert, right? But then we have voices like the civil society expert, like the young people that we're building up, that are engaged, that are motivated, that are inspired, that are awoke, but then don't have platforms and they have not been teaching. And so all these organizations, these initiatives, what do we do on the Pan-African Daily? Naisha, who is my pastor, goes into the research on these platforms. And so we have our own exclusive guests that we follow the Pan-African structure, particularly in history and culture. Like one of them, all of them always say, we can talk about changing mindset, but if we don't know our history, it will never erase the mystery. And so going back to our history and getting these scholars tell us how it was in ancient Africa and how we can replicate this power, this energy, the drive. We all know in ancient African structures, the women were the warriors. We know about the Amazons. It never even was our kings that defeated the colonials. And we will be bringing you all the facts. We're not just talking, because some people already feel challenged that when we talk about some privileges, we have to be able to motivate, like Dr. Baba Buntu said. We have to build up ourselves in the way that it is not a challenge against each other, but we work in harmony and unity to pursue our cause for Pan-Africanism and for a liberated Africa. Do you get me right? And that is why when I said, I don't feel the energy of the young people, because they're not asking questions. They're not holding the elders accountable. They're not asking why. What happened that you let this happen? Dr. Susan, can you just tell me what you've been doing for all your time? Have you just, hold us accountable? That is how you see this power in the youth. I'm looking forward, to get this 1 million subscribers, the young people, and you will see the fire in these people. And I'd like to thank all of you that watched that show. If you missed the program of yesterday with King Bongane, please make sure you go on it. Because as of now, YouTube has been congratulating us because of the good work that you are doing out there. You are not only liking, you're subscribing, you're viewing the show, you are commenting. These are the key factors to drive that power and energy that I want to see, that we all want to see in the Africa that we're building. If you are not yet charged up, please get in contact with our team. We're going to spark you. We know where it is. We're going to send you to some training. We're going to employ the energy of the ancestors that were gone, and the living ones that are still here. When you listen to Professor James Small, the last video that he did here has gone so viral, and it's just trending with at least, I don't want to give you the figures, you're going to fall here. So when you see that power, we want to see that energy in the young people, that drive, that aggressiveness for a change, your hunger for it. You want to be where the change is. You want to be part of that change. You want to write your name in that legacy. If your parents did not, yeah, you have to carry that title to be the agent of change. That is what we want to see. There is no gender base in ancient African history, but we all know that the warriors and those that were at the battlefields, taking even all those that freed the slaves in the transatlantic Israel, who are we talking about? You all know their names. They were the queens that rose up and said, enough, enough. So, but if we raise our own girl child to be timid, to be submissive, to be, according to the privileges that we've been taught by the Western systems and agenda, and even them don't even practice it. And even in ancient history, that's where some of also the mistake that we're doing. Now, do we look at the Africa that all of us are going to energize and pull out that agenda? Or we're still looking at the Africa that we think, oh no, you're not allowed to eat an egg because you're a girl child. Or we're still going to train our daughters to say, you know what, you're the ones that they slap this, you give it to them. Now we're going to work in a global world, and we're building the United Kingdoms of Africa. Who are going to be the warriors to challenge all the systems? I don't think it is the job left only to the kings. No, it is a collective attitude for us to build the Africa that we want. So I want to thank you and call upon each and every one of you. If you haven't subscribed, being here, please just click and subscribe. You've just joined our campaign. If you have done it, make sure you share to everyone, and we pull on this journey. Tomorrow we're going to do a break-in on the situation in Palestine and Israel. You know why? Some people say it doesn't concern us, but you guess what? What did King Bongade told us? Because they have not recognized the origins of that land, that promised land, as they call it. Who are the origins? They will fight and fight and fight. That was his opinion. We want to get historical fact of what is happening. We all grew up into this conflict, and we see it every time. The president that doesn't want it come up from the world systems, and then there will be peace. But the one that comes on, and then there will be suddenly war. And it has been a cycle for on and on, right? Why? And what is our position? What has that got to do with the African? So I hope to reach out to our elder there in the UK that has been giving us the historical fact that originally the people that were there spilled a lot of blood. They stole that land away from us. No wonder they keep fighting. So it is our history. Yes. So we want to hear your opinion on that. We'll be doing that break-in, and it's going to be an open call where I invite all of you to be my guest as we're going to share this wonderful conversation to know about our history. So we see ourselves tomorrow, same time. Good night to you. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, and like.